Okay, so um, not to dwell too long, but how do you feel about this new wave in ballroom? Basically changing of the guards. Younger parents, younger overalls, newer. Um, not the quote unquote you can say classic prototype of what a ballroom mother or father may be. How do you feel about that? It's starting around the West Time, obviously, and just with new houses over the last 5 years. West, Margella's, Teachies. I don't really want to say mine just debuted, but other houses, as you know, that have just started sprouting about. How do you feel about that?
So first, I think it's a beautiful thing that so many new houses is like coming about and new leaders and a younger, fresher feel for ballroom. I love that. I do wish that it could have been this way with the houses that was already there. Um, I hate to say it, I feel like any older leader at this point that is not allowing the younger generation to step up is at some point going to lose their house. Because ballroom is changing so much. Ballroom is changing every single day. It's changing a lot. Even like from my generation to start and up until now, it's a whole lot different now. And I think it's dope. I really think it's dope. But I want to see, along with the newer generation. I'm not saying that people are following us because people like Balmain's, Tishi, Garcon. I want to say is the longest standing new house of my generation.
Yeah, I wouldn't really consider them a new house because they're like kind of. I would say they're tail end of the last generation.
Who?
Lambert, you know why I never really considered Lambert? Because I always consider Lambert like a Visu, the quads, and you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, it's kind of a mixture, but I'm just saying like that last 5 years, like.
Okay, so what I would like to see with the newer houses like moving forward would be like the bringing. I think the number one thing that ballroom needs to focus on now is energy and good energy, and I want to see more of that. Like kind of like maybe take your hair out that ponytail and like bitch take the suit jacket off or change or wear a t-shirt. Relax, like stop like putting a specific thing on what ballroom is supposed to be as far as like how you should dress and stuff like that. Times are different. Like, no, I'm not the between both femme that's gonna come out in jean booty shorts and a ponytail boot, and I'm not gonna do it at all unless it's calling for that in the category and I choose to walk. Other than that, I don't feel like you should put both femmes there. Like, be okay with the fact that legendary performance people may not vote to the Dendada as good. Like, those times are over. Find a beat for today and say this is the beat for that, so that the next generation can kind of follow up to that and then move on to their own. I just want to see the newer houses focus more on energy, and if we work together a little bit better, it will be that way. Be okay with the fact that my house fashion may not beat that house fashion. Be okay with the fact that your performance squad may not beat mine. You know what I'm saying? Be okay with that and be able to embrace the fact that we have these younger, fresher feels wanting to get out there, wanting to enjoy ballroom, wanting to walk, and not feeling like they're too good for it. Because when I tell you, I have seen so many people in my generation, 10 years plus, that felt like they were just too good. It's like, that's so draining. Like, ballroom's supposed to be fun. Why everybody feel like they're too good for this, too good for that?
I'm actually gotta say I agree with you on that because I think like as far as me and I'm kind of progressive. Like I understand change in ballroom and stuff like that. And I think that it should change because I don't think that everything that is from yesteryear is actually good. But I do think that some things from yesteryear should still be the same. If you know what I mean. Like I think like a house mixture with older people and younger people is a good thing because older people. I think that there's still a foundation you need for every house, and you need that foundation, that leadership, and that experience and wisdom to pass on. But I think that you have to have the mindset like, bitch, I ain't gonna be here forever. Right. And I'm not talking about living in life, but you go through shifts, you go through things in your personal life, and you want to change and you want to evolve. And I think that you should be grooming people all along, not waiting to groom. You understand what I'm saying?
Like ultimately, I'm too old for Kiki Zane for the most part, but I'm like, because I was a part of it, I'm still there. If I'm in a Kiki house, I'm not in one at the moment, but if I'm in a Kiki house, they know, no, James is not being father. No, he don't want to be no leader. No, nothing. James will shadow the people who's in those positions. I'll shadow you. If you need something, call me and I'll tell you how to do this. I have people in my house, the House of West, that is parents of Kiki houses, and they know. If you need something, you call me and I'll tell you how to go about it. Like, that's what I feel like the older generation of ballroom should be doing for the younger generation. Let somebody else come into this place and you shadow them. Like, but for some reason, like, ballroom is dealing with this thing of not wanting to let go. They don't want to let go.
I've had these conversations with Jason. I do feel like there was a big disconnect with the current 10 to 12 years to prior, where I don't want to say a fear of letting go or passing the torch on. And that's where the disconnect comes in with a lot of people because things change. Things are not going to be like 1998 or even 2008, and definitely not even 2018. Things are constantly changing, and just where world is going, and just how mainstream is connecting to ballroom and learning a ballroom and watching ballroom, things change, and you have to understand that ballroom is not 300 people now.
Right.
It's thousands of people,
Right.
and it's all over the world. So I think that a lot of people are just not ready for the change, unfortunately.
Right.
And I think that's where the problem lies in it. So you being also part of that change, what made you go on Legendary, and how was your experience on Legendary?
So the opportunity was presented to me, and I followed through with like the interviews and the change at like having to I didn't take a leave of absence from work and stuff like that, which actually ended up working because I was able to just work from there from my computer. But like I thought the opportunity was really dope, and I enjoyed it. Of course, I was like over the fact that we were home first.
So let's talk about that. Let's keep it real. How did you feel about going home first?
I didn't feel like we should have went home first. I don't feel like even prior to the battle that determined that, I don't feel like we did a bad job with Runway. I don't think that Wilma did a bad job with Face. Destiny Way coming off was like a blatant, it was a chop, without a doubt. But I don't feel like we deserve to be chopped for all three categories that night. On the flip side, I do feel like we shared our weaknesses with the house. I mean, I said with the house, with Legendary, which kind of could have played
worked against you.
Right. Which probably could have played a factor into why it happened the way it did. But no, I don't feel like we should have went home at all. Not even a little bit. And they asked me, like, what would I have changed? And I was like, I wouldn't have changed nothing. I feel like we did a great job. I think we did really good for three people who's never walked runway before. Wilma, who has never walked drag face before. And then when it came down to the battle, like, I'm honest enough to say, like, when they told us that once you're in the bottom, what would determine if you went home was a battle, I was like, oh, bitch, we good. Like, there's 5 of us, and we battle cast. All of us. All of us are battle cast.
If you went back, would you have done it? Would you have done the battle?
Mm-mm. I made a whole post about that, and I said, like, this was not, like, I am who I am. It's not about me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like any of us could have went out there, and we would have tore it up regardless. It wasn't about me. Like, a part of being a parent is allowing your kids to be that savior for your house, or being the face for your house at that moment. And I didn't feel like it was necessary for me to be the one. I felt like that would have been for any house parent, to be honest, this season and last season. Anytime the parent who is a well-known voter goes out there to defend their house, I feel like that's expected, and I didn't want to be that person. So believe it or not, Legendary would have been surprised to even see me well on the floor, because I felt like if it wasn't Wilma, it would have been Buffy. If it wasn't Buffy, it would have been Maurice. If it wasn't Maurice, it would have been Destiny. Like, I didn't have to be out there, because I have people that I know can defend my house just as much. That's why they're there. They're talented.
Did it upset you that, like, damn, like, they didn't even really get to see what we can do?
Absolutely. It upset me because we had so many plans. We had shared all of our ideas with Legendary. That was one of the things that is really upsetting me. I felt like we told them all of our ideas for, like, looks, production, and then I kind of felt like I ended up seeing part of that in somebody else's production. I was like, I just felt like we talked too much, and they forced us to say a lot of stuff that we said. Like, they wanted a lot of stuff in advance, but I just feel like we talked a little too much on that show. I enjoyed watching it because I watched every single episode after that. Even up until now, I can't wait to watch the season finale. But just knowing how, like, things went behind closed doors was a little, like, frustrating for me, because I know that we was, like, really bring some heat. We had, like, I think my team was phenomenal. I feel like we had everything we needed. We had the acrobatics, we had the dance background, the flex, we had the stunt double, we had the hand performance, we had the attitude, we had everything we needed right there. And, like,
would you do it again?
Absolutely. Like Legendary?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know differently how to move, though. Like, I would.
Would you go on the show still?
Mm-hmm. I just would move different. Like, I feel like Legendary, maybe not the cast. I mean, not the director and stuff like that. But I feel like the judges doesn't really like confident people. I don't know why I feel that way, but, like, I feel like they don't really care for confident people. They feel like they want you to kind of feel like you don't have it, and we was a little too confident, I think.
I don't care. I feel like they only want to. Not everybody from Ballroom has a bad story. Not everybody from Ballroom comes from brokenness and hurtness, and a lot of us have families that love and adore us and accept us and love what we do, and I think that you cannot mistake. You may be a very nonchalant person outside, you know what I'm saying? But in the inside, you may be very passionate and very fervent and very strong about what you feel. But you may not be a person that shows your poker face.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that what I don't like about the show, for me, watching it, and I enjoy the show, is I don't like that part of it. I don't think that has anything to do with it. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's like, bitches are up here battling, and that's what their mode is. They're in ballroom mode.
Mm-hmm.
They're not thinking about sitting here and crying and getting emotional. Now, some people are emotional people, so I understand it, but not everybody is. So it's like, bitch, I'm up here to eat this bitch up. That's my competition right now. I'm not here to cry. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't like that aspect of it. It irritates me. It does something to me.
It's so funny you say that because we didn't have like emotional moments. I feel like my house again is so big on energy. We enjoy each other, so we was laughing keen most of the time. What's funny is you didn't see that at all from us. Like they kind of like, I want to say I feel like they kind of robbed us of our personality because like people didn't get to know us at all via the show. We had one emotional moment when Maurice was speaking about like his at home situation. He kind of got emotional when they didn't show that. They did show me saying Wilma was acting stupid, but they didn't show none of they didn't show how me and Wilma made up. Like literally 5 minutes later.
The gift and curse of editing.
Right. So they didn't show like how Wilma came to me and she told me that she apologized for she was a little uncomfortable with the whole situation. They didn't show me saying like I apologize for even saying that to you. Like literally 5 minutes later, it was me and Wilma's first ever disagreement like that. And like you just didn't see like the energy that we brought. Like people enjoyed us there. Like even our competition, like Erica, Zay, Michaela, like all those people, they enjoyed being around us and they liked when we came in the room because we brought energy. We was like, we did this thing when we was in there, we just kind of like blowing kisses at people all day.
And also, y'all didn't meet these people at the show. Y'all met them. I mean, y'all knew them already.
But they got a real good feel of us on an everyday basis, and they liked it. Like they was so like when I tell you, I feel like that was the most genuine I've ever gotten from a group of ballroom people at once. Like it was so genuine with all of us in there. We was like we enjoyed ourselves. We played around, we practiced, we went out to eat, we was walking around together. We was doing everything together, and it felt genuine. I didn't feel like when we walked away, bitch, the line Benz was reading us, and the Abby's was reading us. I did not feel that way, and I love that. I just hate the fact that I feel like we was robbed of our personality. So people who might have wanted to hear more about the House of West was left with like, bitch, I mean, I seen they was talented, I seen they brought it, but like, what else? You know what I'm saying? I wish people could have seen more of like what we recorded. We recorded a lot. It's a lot.
What house did you enjoy this season the most watching?
The fucking Mugler's. Mind you, somebody spoiled already the fact on Facebook that they won, but Mugler's have brought it to me every single week, except 1 week. It was like not last week or the week before, but like other than that, they have brought it to me every single.
So they was what you were rooting for from the beginning.
I've been rooting for them since day one.
Gotcha. So, tomorrow makes a month. Today.
Yeah, tomorrow.
What is going down in Charlotte, North Carolina?
Okay, on July 10th, 2021, the House of West will be having their first ball. Our first ball, I'm sorry.
First off, why North Carolina?
So North Carolina was like the place that we debuted in.
Okay.
It was our number one place we debuted in. We felt like that would be the perfect place to have a ball because North Carolina has bigger venues, better venues, more lenient venues than cities that we considered. We want to make sure that our ball is like producing a certain quality and a certain energy, and we know that like North Carolina, when it comes to like the law, they don't play, but they're also not looking for a party to poop on. You know what I'm saying? So we know for a fact that like though we have like 40 security officers and about 5 state troopers, we know that they're not looking for a reason to say y'all gotta go. You know what I'm saying? We want people to be able to enjoy themselves, unlike most balls we've been to over the last 3 years. Not 3 years. You have really good balls. I will say that you and Marcus have amazing balls. But a lot of other balls have been like they haven't really produced much quality, and I feel like I've always said, and I've been fussing about this shit for years, but when you pay $40 to go into a ball, something about that ball needs to be better than what we used to. I don't care how much venues are going up. If your ball is not going to produce quality, it's going to get the same basic ball, charge $30 like everybody been doing.
Or $35.
Not even 35. Give me something more. Give me something different from what I've been dealing with when I'm.
Oh no, I'm saying if you're giving quality.
Oh yeah. If you're giving quality, absolutely. But if you're gonna give me the same ball I've been getting, I don't see what's the point of you charging more. Like, our ball is $40 to get in, and we're gonna produce quality. I want to say this now, and I'm gonna say it again before the ball. A couple times before the ball, we will be starting our ball on time. Meaning, our Grand March will be started before the ball starts. So this applies to people in the House of West, just as well as people outside the House of West. We're going to start our ball on time. So if you're in Grand March and you're not there, you will miss your part. If you miss your category, I'm so sorry. Just come and enjoy yourself because it's going to still be fun to watch. As far as like countdowns and stuff like that, like I wanted to be how I was when I was walking balls. Once they started counting down, it's probably because everybody already got these sense. Not because you hear the countdown, this is the time to start working your way to the floor. Once we get to one category closed, I'm not reopening any categories for anybody. And I want this to be clear. I'm going to say this again publicly too because I know the backlash I'm going to get for somebody over our mother wanting to come from the car and then saying category closed, and now she's sitting back there gown with her head touching the ceiling, and I'm like, I'm not reopening this category. The category, once it's a category closed, the category will remain closed. I feel like when it comes to balls, judges and commentators play a big part in how your ball runs. I was very selective about how I pick my judges. I have had numerous conversations with my commentators about how I want the ball to run, and judges would not be intoxicated. I don't want any intoxicated judges at any point. If I feel like you're intoxicated, you have to go.
That's how I feel about my judge. I hate stuff like that.
Yeah, you'll be removed from the panel and you'll be replaced by a West representative that is like that has the credentials to judge a ball. Obviously, no West is walking, so it won't be no biasness. But hopefully, we won't get to that point. Everybody can just have a representative for their house. I'm not looking forward to like no West having to sit down and judge. Same for if you have to use a bathroom, you'll be replaced by a West. I don't want nobody using the panel to be shady or nothing like that, which is why I'm not doing that because I know and I've seen people say, take a bathroom break. Because our category's coming up into somebody. I don't want none of that. I just want my ball to be really fun and really nice and like I just wanted to run smooth. Just run smooth. Everybody enjoy themselves and get to their category, and we can all just like feed off of that energy, and we can hopefully that'll influence other balls moving forward to run a certain kind of way.
What category are you looking forward to the most?
I'm definitely looking forward to the legendary performance category. I want to see perfect tens as well. I want to see perfect tens because I feel like when we wrote perfect tens a certain way, so that we can kind of try to like groom and embrace people into walking that category because there is people in ballroom who can walk it, they just don't.
Yeah, I got 3 people walking that.
I'm sure you do. But I'm like itching to see that because I know it's gonna be some people that be like, bitch. It's like some people you don't realize how fit they are for a certain category until they walk it. So.
Okay, so there's one more time to tell them where the ball is, and yeah.
Charlotte, North Carolina, on July 10th, 2021.
Okay, and tell the people on here how they can follow you with all your social media handles.
All right. So you can find me on Instagram. My Instagram is James Please. It is JamesPleez. Also, you can follow me on Twitter. It's Jamesy. It's JamezSey. And last but not least, I have a Bigo. You can follow me on Bigo at King James, but it's KVNG James. If you're interested in Bigo, you can make anywhere between $640 to $24.
You better promote Bigo on there.
You can hit me up on my Instagram. I'm saying you can make anywhere between $640 to $24,000 a month just simply by live broadcasting. If you have a following, that's even easier.
This is a nosy question, but what's the most you made 1 month on there?
The most I made, I'm boring, and everybody takes to this. I'm boring. I don't like what you see outside. I don't even get that on Bigo. I'm like kind of like this on Bigo, just talking, and I made $8,000.
You guys heard it here from him himself. So if you guys need an extracurricular job, here that goes right there.
Easy money, and you can follow me. If you're interested in becoming a Bigo host, you can message the Instagram King Capital Agency, King KING Capital CAPITOL. Mind you, I never spelled this out like this. AGENCY. So King Capital Agency on Instagram, and we'll get you started. We'll help you with every step of the process that you need.
Now, let me say this is beautiful sitting down and doing this with you. I hope it gives an insight to people Lord knows James has tried it through the years with me, but I've always adored adored how he is. I definitely love the movement that you started. So I really hope this gives like a window, and just for people to see who you are, and some of your motivations, good, bad, or otherwise, and just kind of know you better. So make sure you guys comment. Make sure that they are comments that will feed the situation. And yeah, just thank you guys for watching. And yeah, make sure you follow him, and make sure that if you are in the North Carolina area or you feel like traveling to a ball, the hottest ball coming up is the House of West Ball.
And it will be worth it.